Hello, who are you?
My name is David Collingsworth. I'm the producer here at the Prison Show, 90.1 FM KPFT. I'm also a regional director for the Texas Inmate Family Association. Um, what we do, what I do, is I try and reach out the best that I can to educate people so that they understand about prisons. My number is also 540-850. Out of the last 25 years, I've been incarcerated for 15. I went in whenever I was 23 years old in 1990, and I served 6 years, and then I got out for a few years. I went back in 2004 and spent some more time, and then I got out and went back in 2007 and spent some more time. So all in all, in installment plans, I've done 15 years in the last 25. But one day something clicked, and I realized the errors that I was making. I had some thinking errors, and I had to change my way of thinking. I had to change my desires, and by my experiences and the things that I've learned, I want to share that because it's like going down a dead end road. If you go down a dead end road and you don't put up a sign, then everybody else that comes behind you is going to go down that same road to realize that it's a dead end. So I come out and I put up a sign, and I want to go anywhere and everywhere I can that somebody's going to listen, and I want to put up that sign. And I started volunteering here at KPFT with Ray Hill back in 2004. And in 2004, I was still trying to do things the wrong way. I was still sneaking around and I was drinking. I was chasing wild women. I was smoking marijuana. And I was making a lot of thinking errors. All those things influenced my judgment. And I went back to prison. But every time I got out of prison, I'd come back here to the prison show because I recognized that what Ray and them were doing was good. And one day, David Babb had taken over for Ray because he retired, and everybody was gone, and I was still here, and I became producer. It was like Ray had asked, well, what are we going to do now? And I said, don't worry about it, Ray. I got it. Go ahead and retire. I love Ray, and I've watched Ray for a long time, so I knew how to run the prison show. I knew whenever I laid in my bunk and I listened to the prison show what kind of guests that he had, what kind of formats that he had. What was important to the prison show was important to the offenders, the inmates, or the guys that were laid up in the bunk. It was important to me. So my question to myself was, if I was going to be the producer, what kind of person would I have on the prison show? And all those answers is what we do today. I have like Warden Dow. Warden Dow's got some really great prison reform. We try and educate as far as where the guys can go to get help, where they can go get a job, where they can go get a place to stay. Their families are listening. So we have people that come on to tell the families where they can go for counseling, where they can go to know how to do a parole packet. Some people don't even know what a parole packet is. And a parole packet is a bundle of letters that tells the parole board what you have done since you've been incarcerated, what kind of support you have on the outside, what kind of job you may have, what kind of education you may have. Because all the parole board hears a lot of times is all the negative stuff. And all the things that I'm teaching about the parole package is things that I learned myself because I was on the inside and I wanted to make parole. So I put together a parole packet and I submitted it to the parole board. And one of the things I learned that the parole board wants to hear is that you're sorry for the things that you've done, that you've learned from the things that you've done, and that you don't want to make those same mistakes again. So I asked, my last time up for parole, I asked to go to a rehabilitation program called Intensive In-Prison Therapeutic Community. And by going to in-prison therapeutic community, what I was telling the parole board was I was tired. I was so tired of being incarcerated that I would do whatever it takes to get out. That was a 9-month program. So here I'd been incarcerated for almost 5 years, and I volunteered to go to another prison for 9 more months. Well, they shortened the 9 months before I got there, and I did another 6 months. And they let me do the other 3 months on the outside. So I went to a halfway house for 3 months, a mandatory halfway house. But I was more than glad to do it because I got out of prison. And I learned a lot. And the way I learned is I learned by teaching. So what these counselors did was make me an education coordinator, and I was actually responsible for teaching 250 men about thinking errors, about making goals, about changing your life, taking responsibility for yourself. I always viewed myself as a good person. In all actuality, I was a dirty, rotten, no good dog. And once I realized that, all I could do was go up from there. Um, but it's important to be able to tell other people that, because we were talking about expectations, and whenever an offender gets out, he expects the family to throw a ticker tape parade and have a car for him and give him some money, maybe a gift card to go buy some clothes and all kinds of stuff. Well, the family, that's not their expectation. Their expectation is this guy's going to get out, and he's going to get a job, and he's going to learn how to take care of himself, and he's going to pay back what he owes, and he's going to stay out of trouble. And the offender's not always on the same page. And so it's important to be able to tell the family what the offender's thinking on his way out of prison.
Thank you, David. Could you finish by telling us what is the meaning of fishing in your life?
What is the meaning of fishing in my life?
What does it do for you?
Fishing gives me it's an escape. The lady asked me the other day what could she do for her depression, and I said, well, maybe you should grab a fishing pole. No, I mean make a meeting. But no, to me, a fishing pole is a meeting. I get out with nature, and it's just me, and it's just the sea and the wind and the fish and the waves. And if I'm in the ocean, if I'm not in the ocean, I go to a pier and I catch the biggest catfish I can get. And fishing is just so therapeutic for me. It's exhilarating, it's free, and it's addicting.
Do you think that is it something to advise to everybody to find a passion like that in his life?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because my passion before was selling drugs and doing the wrong thing. So what better way to correct that than with a good healthy sport like fishing?
Yeah. Great. David, thank you very much.
Thank you, Warden.